in Asia, good afternoon if you are in Africa, all right, and good evening if you are in the Americas. Islam and Shalawama to all the Moors. I'm DrYasapa coming with another live stream. All right, I'm back. Here we are. This is a beautiful little coffee. Well, it's not little, actually. It's a beautiful coffee shop. Y'all can see it. And I'm going to do my morning routine, which is to have a cup of coffee and do a live stream. All right, so that's what we're doing right now. So let me just walk around and show you guys the coffee shop, and then I'm going to order. This is a beautiful place, a really, really beautiful place. You see they have so many, they have many rooms, and the nature is really, for me, very, very comfortable. So you can be inside in the air conditioning, you can be outside, like right here, they have these tables here. Right now in Vietnam, it is about 8 o'clock, maybe 8:30 in the morning. I don't know, because I've been out doing my walking routine, right? Y'all know I walk a lot. So you have these tables, and then when the people are here, they're cheers, and they're sitting at these tables. So this place just opened, I think, at about 7 or 8 o'clock. So the setup is not done yet, but it's really beautiful in the evening. This is a place where, surprisingly, a lot of young people come. Okay. Good morning. Hi. I want to order 2 iced tea, like I had last time.
Oh, okay.
I'm doing a live stream video. No. Go ahead. It's finished. I just wanted you to know, so it's no surprise. Two iced tea.
Two iced tea.
2 iced tea, like I ordered last time.
Okay. Yeah.
And black coffee.
Black coffee, non-sugar.
Correct.
Okay.
Thank you. Remember last time I had iced tea?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I say things that I never. So this is outside, y'all. You can chill outside. Okay. Me, myself, I like outside. I don't really like being under air conditioning so much. But sometimes I do, because if you go inside to air conditioning, there's nobody smoking, usually, unless somebody's being real trifling and ignorant, real selfish like that. But I think I'm going to sit out here in the sun. Yeah, I think they just opened, y'all. They haven't set everything up yet. Yeah, they did, because you see the chairs are still right there. I like sitting in the sun a lot. Look how little the tables are, y'all. Imagine if you're in the U.S. and the tables. The Vietnamese people are their height is small. Okay. But anyway, today I'm going to talk about cosmology, the law of consent. Today I'm going to talk about the law of consent, okay? The law of consent. All right, that's the topic for today. So the law of consent is everywhere around you, and you're definitely getting beat up. You're getting beat up by the law of consent. I can assure you of that. Because the law of consent is what's being activated against you when you deal with the corporate, or maybe I'm not. What's up, man? Maybe I'm not going to sit here. People are there and I'll disturb them. So let me see, where am I going to sit, y'all? So the law of consent is what's being activated against you, actually, when you deal with corporate governments, policy enforcers, and all of that. So they haven't set up yet. So I don't want to go inside to the, because then I would disturb those people. So let me see, where am I going to sit? Well, I'll sit where I was. So anyway, so yeah, the law of consent. So you have to consent to everything. If y'all notice that. Everything requires your consent, whether you are aware that you're consenting to something or not. Consent is still required, all right? Consent is still required. So how does it play out? How does consent play out? Well, usually, consent is going to play out by your words, right? Your words and your actions will demonstrate, oh, thank you. Your words and your actions will demonstrate consent. So this is the black coffee that I ordered. Let's see how that tastes. And this is the complimentary iced tea, okay, that they give. And me, myself, as I told y'all, I like the iced tea better. I would pay for the iced tea before I pay for the coffee. But, you know, I don't think they, well, no, it's a different culture. Maybe their tongue is different than ours. So let's see how this iced tea tastes. Let's see how this, uh-oh. Let me see, how am I going to do this? All right. Oh, it has a nice taste. It has a nice taste. All right, so let me get back to the topic at hand. Let me get back to, hey, little boy. Hi there. Oh, he's so cute. Look at him. Hey there. Hi. Hi, what's your name? You know, I love children. Children can bring you so much joy in your life, you know. Always give you a reason to smile and be happy. All right, so consent plays itself out through the words that you speak, right? Right? The words that you speak can give consent, or your actions can demonstrate consent. Your actions can demonstrate consent, all right? Whether you are aware of it or not, you're consenting, okay? So, in other words, presumptions are being made and you are consenting, okay? And most of y'all don't realize that. So why is it that they go through such trouble to get you to consent, right? That's the issue. Why are they going through such trouble to get you to consent when they can just force you to do it, right? They can just force you to do it, right? Well, I can tell you this. These people who are ruling over us, they have what our ancestors had. Okay, they perverted it, but they have what's called more science. They have knowledge of cosmology, knowledge of natural law, which is physical law, as well as that of those things that are not physical. Cosmological laws, right? For example, that force, that attractive force that magnets possess. You can't see that, right? But it's a force, and it's always present, okay? All right, so we have to remember that these people have those sciences. They have that knowledge, all right? They have that knowledge. And their obsession is ruling over us and having slaves, having other people do the work for them so they don't have to. That is their obsession, Genesis chapter 1. Genesis chapter 1, that is their obsession. Okay, yeah, this is a different taste. Okay, I'm going to have to get used to that one. Okay, so back to consent. Back to consent. So why are they going through all of these troubles to get you to consent, right? And why are they even telling you that anything you say can be used against you, right? Why are they telling you that? Why are they telling you that? Why don't they just not say anything and let you hang yourself, right? Why are they telling you? Well, because they're activating the natural laws in their favor, okay? Although in a perverted way. Y'all understand? That's the only reason why they would do that. So let's continue. You consent. You must consent. So what is this law based on? What is the law based on? The law of consent, in my opinion, is based on the fact that every man and every woman comes on this earth with free will. Free will. You're born with it. Free will, right? You do what you want to do. Your rights are whatever you say your rights are. And your rights end where they begin to injure somebody else or infringe upon somebody else's rights, right? And that's where their rights end also. Okay? But you can do what? You can contract. You can contract. Okay? You can contract. You can consent. You can consent to someone injuring you or infringing on your rights. You can consent to it. You can say, okay, well, I will agree to that, right? Or you can read something or hear something, and because you don't understand, you can consent to it, and now there's a contract. Contracts must be performed. In other words, you have to do what you say you're going to do, right? You cannot lie. Okay? Because you injure people when you lie. You harm people when you lie. Right? So you have to perform that contract. Everybody see that's pretty simple. Okay, all right. So we all have free will. Okay? And as we discussed yesterday, what did the Most High give us? Each and every one of us. Not only did he give us free will, we do what we want to do, come and go when we please, right? Nobody can tell you anything. This is why you are sovereign. This is why you are sovereign. Okay, this is why you are a what? A power. Psalms 82:6. You do what you want to do. Okay? And you do it in what? You do it in a way that's honorable. Honorable. In other words, you keep your word. Your word is bond. Even if it costs you something. Even if you realize, well, dang, I'm going to get the short end of the stick in this deal, right? You remain in honor, okay? In word and in deed. Okay, so the underlying principle of the law of consent is respect for free will. Free will. Y'all see it? I have the free will to do whatever I want. Okay, I have the free will to go buy a cup of coffee. But okay, you're gonna come and point some weapons at me and then force me to go do something you want to do. No, you cannot do that. It violates natural law. Everybody see that? How do we know that? How do we know it? Because it's evident, right? It's evident because we're all born with free will. It's evident. It's self-evident, okay? You try doing something to somebody like that, and eventually, well, actually, immediately, if that person hasn't been domesticated, like, let's say, a Negro, black or colored, hasn't been domesticated on the farm, okay? You take that person in his natural state, he will fight to the death to maintain his what? His free will. To maintain his sovereignty. Same as would a animal, let's say a bull, a bison. Let's say a bison out who grew up on his, living out in its natural habitat. Try to get that bison on the farm. Okay, you try that. You try that. The bison will fight you to the death. The only hope you have is to what? Get the bison's their young children and then raise them on the farm, and then they don't know any better, right? Now you have people who, not people, but you have animals who are accepting the unnatural condition and everything that goes along with it because that's all they know. It's the same with you and I, all right? That was a big mistake we made with moving into these cities. When our ancestors moved into cities, that was a huge mistake that we made. It's been downhill ever since. So the law of consent means that you respect free will. And if you don't respect free will, okay, things are going to go against you in terms of the natural law. The forces that govern nature are going to act against you, and you'll soon meet your destruction. So since you'll soon meet your destruction, how do you continue to violate people like that and stay in power? How? You have to get them to consent, right? Get them to consent. And then you can do things to mitigate, to reduce your own karmic debt. Everybody see that? You can do things to mitigate or reduce your karmic debt. What's the karmic debt? The karmic debt are those injuries that you've done, the violations of natural law. So you can reduce it, thereby extending the time, extending the length of time that you have before you have to pay. Everybody see that? So you can put deposits in and you can take deposits out. So a deposit in might be some form of philanthropy. Okay, you give donations to these people who are hungry, right? Even though you cause them to be hungry. You see what I mean? Or you do something else that helps people. Remember the law of compensation, okay? So you mitigate or you reduce or you do what? Or you tell them. You tell them what you're going to do to them, and then they consent. Why? Because they were too lazy to go and find out the implications of what they were consenting to, or they were too greedy. They just wanted to get the Social Security check, right? They just wanted to get the Social Security check, so they went and had their child labeled as mentally ill. So now the child, y'all understand what people will do, the extremes people will go to, the harm that they'll do to even their own babies, to get a SSI check. Is it SSI social? To get a Social Security check on that child. So the child is going to go through school being labeled as something that he or she is not, and all of the terrible things that's going to come along with that child. Friends laughing at him, feeling humiliated and embarrassed, teachers thinking he's less intelligent than he is or she is. Y'all understand the stigma? And then in some, from what I understand, in some states, some school districts, children who are considered to be mentally handicapped or something, I don't know what they call it in schools these days, mentally challenged or whatever, they get a different diploma, from what I was told, than the children who are said to be normal. Y'all follow me? They get a different diploma. So now the child, whenever you got to prove that you're a high school graduate, this is going to follow you. It's going to follow you for the at least next 10 years, 10, 15 years, as long as they ask you for a copy of your high school diploma. Or maybe that stigma causes the person to just drop out because they don't want to deal with it, right? Okay? So there's a karmic debt to pay for doing that to somebody. There's a karmic debt, whether you're their mother or father. Doesn't matter. Probably even more because of the relationship and the expectation and the duty. You have, as a parent, to make sure that that child is okay. Understood? Understood? All right. Okay, so what else about this? Okay, so yes, so you can reduce your karmic debt by doing some good. So you can measure it out, right? You can, as much bad and harm you do people, you can give, you can give money, and other things that are useful to people. Hey there, what's your name? Hi, what's your name? I'm DrYasapa. Coffee, tea. How you doing, sir? Coffee, tea. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Cute as he can be. Cute little boy. So you can injure people, take away their liberty, take away their rights, and get them to consent to it, right? And it's a contract, all right? You contract it in. Reduces their karmic debt. They stay in power. They don't have to pay so fast. Why? Because you are consenting. Because they put a carrot in front of your nose and you go run for it, a social security check. Do your own babies in for a social security check. You realize how trifling that is to do that? Hey y'all, this is my iced tea. Thank you. So you see there's dried fruit. This was really tasty the other day I came here. There's dried fruit inside. Y'all can see that. It's really, really delicious. I really, really enjoyed it. So it's dried fruit, so I'm gonna let it sit for a while, let the fruit absorb some of this water. And then I'm gonna see all the dry. It's a lot actually in there. It's a lot of dried fruit in there. So I'm gonna let it hydrate. Y'all see that? Okay, see that? So I'm gonna let all of these hydrate, fill with water. Okay, and then I'm gonna taste it. I know what it. Hopefully, it tastes the same way it tasted last time. I hope. Yeah, I said things that I never hear. This is one of the dried fruit. I don't know what these are, y'all, but they taste pretty good. They taste pretty good. All right. So anyway, now some people may have different view on this, and if that's okay, if you have a different view than I have, that's okay. Nothing to argue about. Okay? It's nothing to argue about at all. I don't know everything for sure. I'll tell you anybody that. And I'm open. I'm very open to new ideas. Okay? All right. But I don't argue this kind of stuff. Anyway, so let's get back to it. So they get you to consent. You walk into let's say you're buying a house. Okay, you're buying a car, right? You read a contract, you don't know what it says, and you agree to it, right? Not knowing that you just gave away your birthright by signing that contract, but you read it, okay? And you're supposed to be competent, but you're not. Just like the rest of us, at some point, we're not, right? You're supposed to be competent so that you can read that document and you can either consent or not consent because you understand what you just read, right? But when we gave up educating ourselves and our children, when we allowed the hybrid, the Paleolithic hybrids, right, the so-called modern Europeans, when we allowed them to take control of the education of our little ones and of ourselves, see, we allowed that. We consent. Even now, y'all send y'all children to school instead of educating them yourself. Y'all see that? Educating them in your home and in your family. Why is that? Because you can't get along with nobody long enough to accomplish anything worthy. You can't get along with your own sister or brother because you've been enculturated and indoctrinated into Christianity, into the Islamic religion, the Hinduism, and all these different religions. But the worst one, the absolute worst one, is Christianity. you can't get along with anybody long enough to even to even think about educating your children within your own family, working together so y'all can start a business and make the business successful, even if it takes living in the same house. Y'all can't do it. Y'all can't do it because you're Negroes and you're blacks and you're colors, and you've been engineered, you've been culturally engineered, indoctrinated to be uncooperative, distrusting, and hateful of yourself and those people who look like you. That's right. That's the situation. Whereas I heard, I was watching a video. I wish I could remember what that video is, but it was these guys in Britain, in the UK, right? And it was a white guy and an Arab guy, right? It was a Paleolithic dude. Well, two Paleolithics. Two hybrids. So the Arab, what this guy said, the Arab looked like he was rich, right? He was driving some type of expensive sports car. And so the UK hybrid was like, man, how do you, maybe we're working at the same job. How is it that you can afford such a hot car? So the Arab dude says, well, because what we do, the reasons why the Muslims are so rich in the UK is because our families, like me and my brothers, we'll get a wife, we'll all live in the same house. All of us, all me and my brothers, all living in the same house with all of our wives. We live in the same house. But y'all, you UK people, y'all can't live in the same house. Y'all gonna go out and each one of y'all gonna buy your own house or rent an apartment. And even if you tried to live in the same house, y'all couldn't get along with each other. Especially the women. The women wouldn't be able to get along with each other, right? And so the Muslim guy was saying, whereas in our culture, all my brothers, we get along together. All the women, they're able to get along together. They're able to cooperate with one another. They're cooperating with one another, getting along with one another. And they all have one goal. The men go out, earn money, and the women stay home, take care of the house, and raise the children. And that's why the Muslims are so rich in the UK. Chinese guy told me the same story in the Philippines. Basically the same story. A bunch of Chinese people come to the Philippines, they open a store, it's about 8-10 of them, all sleeping in the same store. Nobody's getting paid, but you get a place to sleep and you get some food. The company in China, your Connect, they're going to send you free products. Yes, they're going to send you free inventory, free. You don't have to pay for it until you start making money. Once you start making money in that store, now everybody can get a little salary. Everybody see? And then you start sending money back to the company to pay off the free stuff that they gave you. Okay? And then after a couple years, when the store starts to make money, well, guess what? One of those 8 people who's living in that store, they become next in line. They're going to get a store of their own. And they're going to bring 8 more people to work in there for free. And every so many years, everybody who's sitting in that store working for free, sleeping in there, working for a little to no money, their turn is going to come when they're going to get their own store. And this Chinese guy told me that's why everywhere the Chinese people go, they become the richest people in that city and in that country. So what does it mean? They're able to live in one place together, get along with each other and cooperate with each other, because it's simply a matter of culture, a matter of culture. Everybody understand that? Whereas the Negro cannot get along. The Negro cannot cooperate. There's some new customers. Let's see what they... It's about, hey y'all, it's about 9, I guess 9 in the morning, something like that. So these are local people. I'm not in, this is a province, y'all. This is a province. This is not Saigon where I'm at right now. But anyway, so these are local people. You see they're very small. Their height is very short. But that's why the Chinese, because why? Because they can cooperate with each other. Okay, they can sacrifice and get along with each other and cooperate. Get along with each other, that's so important. But the Negroes, because of their religion and their culture, cannot do that. And that's by design, y'all. That's by design, okay? That's by design so that you will always be dependent on the hybrid. And you'll always be dependent on your religion and that external deity. You'll always be going before that deity on your knees. You'll be always going before this Paleolithic hybrid European on your knees. And you're consenting to it. Why? Because you see, your actions show consent because you participate. You participate. Okay? So your actions are showing that you consent to it. Okay? And whatever it is that you might talk about, you also have verbal consent, right? Okay? If you were not consenting, you would not participate. Okay? All right. So this is the law of consent. The fundamental principle behind the law of consent is free will, right? That's the evidence of it. Free will. Free will. Okay? So there's no situation, no circumstance, no loss, no defeat, no failure, no humiliation that is such unless you accept it as such. Unless you accept it. Acceptance is what? Consent. Right? You accept it. Okay? You consent. If you do not accept it, you do what? You take powerful, aggressive, consistent, persistent, massive action to get out of that situation, to create a better situation, something that's more tolerable, or as my uncle used to say, more tolerable. There's more tolerable for you, okay? So you begin to reject it, to rebel, right? In other words, you begin to do what? Exercise your sovereignty. Exercise your sovereignty, your right to govern your own mind and your own behavior. Everybody see that? You can turn any situation around at any moment in time simply by making a decision. A decision followed by action. Okay? Followed by action to express your sovereignty. In other words, to express your own will. Your own will. Okay? Now, when somebody is violating your sovereignty, your will, and you are not consenting, now guess what? Now that law of consent is going to act against the person who's violating you. It's going to act against the person who is violating you. Just the same as you cannot escape the power of gravity when you jump off of a building, you cannot escape the power of the punishment for violating the law of consent. All right? Whether you know it or not, whether you believe it or not, doesn't matter. It is the fact. All right? It is the fact. Okay? You cannot hold a man or a people in servitude forever. Right? Once they stop consenting, they will become free. They will liberate themselves. Mm. Wow, so this iced tea is very good. This iced tea is really, really good. It's delicious, y'all. Yummy. That's quite delicious. That's why I ordered two. That's why I ordered two. So listen, y'all, all you have to do is stand up. Stand up for yourself. Get yourself educated. Okay? Learn the principles and concepts of linguistics. Learn the principles and concepts of linguistics so you can know instead of believe. You can know what you're consenting to verbally or on paper, right? So once you understand linguistics, you understand etymology, you throw in there historical evidence, right, etc., 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 all those components of philology. See, now you're not going to be an easy target anymore. You understand things in their context, and you understand the words, right? So now they cannot play the magician with you anymore. They cannot play the magician. They can't play the prince over you. Okay, so I just had some, the dry fruit is sweet. I don't know if it was sweetened, but some of it came up through my straw, and it's very sweet. So see, once you become educated, you understand etymology, you understand the historicity associated with certain lawful concepts. All right, you understand the political, social, economic history. Surrounding those concepts, I have no idea what that is, but I'm going to taste it. All right, once you understand that, okay, you can become competent, right? And now it doesn't matter what the person who's violating you is doing so much. Why? Because you're able to activate the universal forces, the laws of the cosmos. You're able to activate them to work on your behalf. All right, y'all see that? Y'all see that? These laws are immutable. So all you have to do is express your free will, express your sovereignty. Do what you were created and put on this earth to do. Be yourself. I, self, law, am master. And anybody who comes and tries to take that away from you against your will, without your consent, will soon have to pay. You don't have to do anything violent to them, although sometimes that's helpful, right? Or at least them knowing that you're not an easy target, right? You do this to one of mine, I'm gonna do it to 100 of yours. That's a very powerful incentive. Okay? That's a very powerful incentive. Okay? And ain't nothing wrong with that. You have a right to self-defense. Okay? That's a natural law, self-defense. Actually, maybe we should do a video on self-defense because y'all Negro blacks and colors, y'all a bunch of cowards. You really are a bunch of cowards. But y'all not the only cowards. You see a lot of these Paleolithic people are also cowards now. The whole John Wayne thing, you know, the spaghetti westerns and all of that. A guy with a gun and his bravery and all of that stuff that we grew up watching, that's a bunch of hogwash. The one thing I can say I respect about a lot of the Paleolithics, at least the conservatives, is that a lot of them talk a good game in terms of self-defense and preservation of the Constitution at all cost, right? Even at the cost of their own lives. That's admirable, okay? That's admirable. I respect that. But the Negro, blacks, and colors, they're afraid to die for anything because they're thinking they're going to burn in hell. If y'all only knew how bad these people got y'all. They have y'all in a mental box, okay? Y'all have, if you could only see your situation as other people see it, right? You're scared of nothing. And they're completely dominating and controlling you. Why? Because you're afraid to die. You're afraid to go burn in hell when there is no such thing. Our ancestors never had such a concept of burning in hell or dying and going to heaven. So where did you Christians get that from? Okay. All right. Maybe that's a tool of what? A tool of war. A psychological weapon of war. A psychological weapon of war. Wake up, Dorothy. Wake up. Wake up, Dorothy. There's a universal or natural law that says you have to defend yourself and your family. And if you don't, guess what? Guess what law is going to act powerfully against you? You're breaking the law because you're a coward. Christianity has created or engineered, indoctrinated men and women to be cowards. Idiots, fools, and cowards. If y'all been watching the astrotheology videos that I've done, y'all will see that that's how the author of The Devil's Pulpit refers to Christians. Idiots, fools, and cowards. Idiots, fools, and cowards. So how long have you been an idiot? How long have you been a fool? And how long have you been a coward? I was one for 30 plus years when I was in Christianity. 30 plus years. So I'm not putting anybody down. I'm speaking from experience. All right. So it's a real bad situation for the Negroes, the blacks and the colors, the Latinos. I'm not talking about the Paleolithic Latinos. I'm talking about the indigenous peoples in South America. Well, all of the indigenous Moors, okay? You let people harm your babies and you let them harm yourself instead of defending yourself. And you see that divine principle also in the Constitution for the United States of North America. It is there. You have a right to bear arms that is protected, right? That's protected. That doesn't come from that document. It comes from nature. That document protects it. Understand, that document acknowledges that you have a natural right to defend yourself against a renegade government and to replace it. All right, y'all see that? It's a divine principle. It's a natural law. Divine principle is a natural law. Same as your what? Your right to contract. That's not given to you by a document called a constitution. No. That is a natural law. You have a right to contract. The right to contract is related to the law of consent, is related to what? Is related to your free will. Nobody can take that from you unless you voluntarily give it away by consent, by contract. Everybody see that. All right? Even if they trick you out of it. Yeah, they're wrong, but you still consented. And then what are they going to do in return? They're going to do things to mitigate, to mitigate what? To postpone and reduce their karmic debt. Everybody see that? They're going to give you something for free that you think is going to help you. All right? They're not helping you. They're making sure that they can put some credits in that account so that they can stay in power and keep putting their foot in your ASS longer. And as long as they got you in religion and they're dealing with natural law, you will continue to receive those curses and punishments in Deuteronomy chapter 28, 15 through 68. Understand, y'all, Exodus chapter 20, verse 12. Honor your foremothers and your forefathers. Okay? Honor your ancient foremothers and forefathers. Y'all understand that? That means act honorably. Respect your bloodline. Respect your birthright. Okay? Respect your birthright. What is your birthright? Your birthright is all land, all resources, all commerce, all jurisdictions, land, air, and water. That's right. What else? Your sovereignty, your will. Your sovereignty, your will. The law of contracts, the universal or natural law of contracts, right? The right to contract. Okay? Law of compensation. All of this cosmology. Honor it. And if you don't, what's going to happen? Then those natural forces, again, are going to pour down on you punishments. All right? Which punishments you're already experiencing. Wake up, Dorothy. Wake up, Dorothy. There's no deity who's coming to save you. No. The deity who's going to save you is the same deity who gets up and goes to work every day, gets a paycheck, right? Or if you're an entrepreneur, you struggle, you figure out how to get customers, you do everything that an entrepreneur does to get some fiat, and then you go on about your business. No deity did that for you. You did it for yourself, right? You did it for yourself. And if you want to change your situation, guess who's going to have to do it? You. So what about the people who say, oh, well, I prayed and this happened and I prayed and that happened? First of all, how many of them are telling the truth? Right? So let's talk about prayer. Prayer has a calming effect on the mind. Okay? Prayer is a form of meditation, yo. It is a form of meditation, relaxation. Okay? It's also a form of what? Getting yourself to the point of acceptance. Acceptance. See, stress comes to you when you're in a state of unacceptance. Understood? Okay? You don't want to accept what happened to you yesterday. You don't want to accept what your mother and father did to you. You don't want to accept what your ex-husband or your boyfriend did to you. You don't want to accept what your mother, whatever, in the past. And by the way, if it happened 1 second ago, that's the past. The past is over with. Okay, so you don't want to accept that. So now that causes you emotional and psychological stress. Right? You don't want to accept what's going to happen tomorrow or next week. You're afraid that you won't have money, especially an entrepreneur, right? You don't know where that next piece of money coming from. The only thing you can do is do what you can do now, right? But if you're in fear of not having money next week or getting put out on the street, y'all see, it's going to affect your performance, or it may even shut you down. It may even get you in a place where you can't even do anything, right? Because you're so afraid. That happens to a lot of people. They freeze. Y'all see? But if you project in the future and you say, okay, if that happens, all right, if that happens, it's going to happen. And I'll make it through it somehow. Because why? Let's say you've lived life long enough to know that you've always found a way. No matter what the situation is, you've always found a way. Things always turned around for you. You've always been able to turn things around. So once you have that type of confidence, that experience, then you can project into the future. You say, you know what, if the worst, you imagine, okay, what's the worst thing that can happen, right? Okay, so if that worst thing happens, I know I can deal with that. In fact, here's my plan, and I'm going to accept that. Now you have peace of mind. Why? Because acceptance, you have peace of mind. Now you can focus on the now and do everything that you know that you should do now, all right? And that will help you tremendously, okay, to be more effective and to stay out of worry. Worry is what messes everything up, right? People worry about the past. They worry about the future. Some people, if you really got it bad, they worry about now, what you're going to do now. All right. So again, the way out of that worry is simply to take action now. What can you do right now to improve your situation, and focus on that? And that will actually give you happiness. All right. And a sense of accomplishment. Okay. So when you violate the law of consent, when you violate somebody's free will or your own, okay, you're dishonoring your ancient foremothers and your ancient forefathers, and it's not going to go well for you, okay? So it is what it is. So you decide. You either return to the Most High by returning to nature, okay, and natural law. Navigate your life by cosmology in a physical sense. In a physical sense and in your decision making. Now, that's a big leap. That's a big leap from religion, which is your current paradigm. All right, all you good Christians. It's a big leap. Natural law says that you are the power. Natural law says that you are the power. If it is to be, it is up to me. Right? You are the power. You're your own savior. You have everything given to you at birth to do, be, have, to create whatever circumstances, situation you want, to attract the man or woman that you want into your life, right? You have it all, but you don't realize it. People like me who are trying to give you knowledge and information so that you can break the God spell, not change your religion, but break the God spell by being what? Becoming educated on astrotheology, educated on the mythology associated with the Gospels, the cosmology associated with the Gospels, the linguistics, the philology, and all of that associated with the Gospels. And then, my friend, scholar, you are competent enough to say the Gospels or specific stories in the Gospels are real. The evidence supports that they are real. Or you can say, well, the evidence overwhelmingly supports that the gospel stories are all allegories, all made up stories. But right now, in your present condition, you don't have the ability to make that decisions. Why? Because all you know is the doctrine that you've been taught. You have no clue about linguistics. You have no clue about the philology associated with it. You don't know anything. All right? You've just been indoctrinated. And everything that I'm saying to a lot of you good Christians, y'all probably think, oh, he the devil. He the devil. Because you're in the religious orientation. You're in the religious paradigm, my friend. Okay? All right? So honor your ancient foremothers and forefathers so that it will go well with you. Okay? So that you can get remedy and relief. All right? So you can have some self-respect and dignity. And so you can have some riches and some wealth and some happiness and some peace of mind. All right? And not have to worry about what Reverend Chicken Bone or Chicken Wing or Pork Chop is going to say, think, or do about what you do, think, and say. All right? And so that these religious organizations can't keep going in your pocket. Right? Cannot keep going in your pocket. And you're doing it either trying to pay off the dirt that you did, tithing and donating to pay off, to ransom your soul, or to pay off the deity, to bribe the deity, so to speak, so that the deity will give you something that you want. All of this foolishness, right? The guilty conscience that you're carrying for all that dirt you did, right? When you can do what? You just start following natural law, return to the Most High, and you don't have to worry about none of that stuff. Because you ain't going to keep doing that dirt, right? So you won't have a guilty conscience, and you ain't got to worry about paying off no debts or bribing the deity to get the deity to do something for you. Now like yesterday I told, we went through, remember the unrighteous judge and the unrighteous steward, right? That deity, he don't want to do anything for you. He don't want to be bothered, and he's not interested in justice. He's interested in just himself chilling and relaxing, maxing. He don't want to hear your prayers, right? The old lady who came to him to get justice or revenge on her adversary, that judge wasn't trying to hear her. So the Christian principle, as we went through yesterday, the Christian principle, the Christian advice to those people who are in leadership positions is to model themselves after that unrighteous judge. Don't give a damn about anybody but yourself. Don't make a move to help anybody unless what? Unless that person makes you so uncomfortable by bugging you to death that you're just going to do something without the motive of justice. You're just going to do something so this person will leave you alone, right? You're not trying to deliver justice. You're trying to do what you can do to make your life comfortable. All right? So this is the Christian principle. Now, I got this from the Devil's Pulpit, right? I got this from the Devil's Pulpit. Y'all go back and y'all watch that, the unrighteous judge. We did the debriefing where it's a discussion, and we also did the reading of the whole chapter where it's the reading of the whole chapter, a discussion, so on and so forth. So you can get all of that content. It's free. In fact, we have 200, maybe 230, 50 hours of free astrotheology content, getting deep into the Gospels, giving you an alternative view from what you get in your religious organization. And I've been trying to get some Hebrew Israelite and Christian pastors, reverends, Moshes and Mores to come on and give a alternative view on either individual gospel stories or the whole concept of astrotheology. I have not had any success as of yet. So what I would like for y'all to do is to ask your teachers if they would be willing to come on. I'm not asking for a debate. That's not my style. I don't want a debate. I want somebody to come on and just have a discussion or do a presentation presenting the opposing view toward astrotheology as a topic, or present the opposing view on a specific gospel story, for example, like the unrighteous judge. Okay? But I don't want to hear any type of doctrine stuff. I mean, I'm familiar with the doctrine. I think most people, well, maybe some people are not familiar with the doctrine. But I'm more interested in the evidence. Okay? The evidence. So the evidence, okay? The evidence and the facts, right? So how do they see the story? Okay? How do they see the story about the unrighteous judge and the unrighteous steward, or the unjust judge and the unjust steward? What is the morality and ethics that Christianity is promoting? So in the religion that I used to be involved in, right, the focus was not on the judge, the focus was on the lady, on that old lady. You have to continuously pray. You got to continuously go to that judge and ask for justice. See, that's what the focus was on. Okay, her effort to bug the you-know-what out of that judge so that the judge would eventually give her justice, right? And that justice was no justice at all. There was not even a trial. There was no witnesses called. There was nothing, right? So y'all religious leaders, Moshe's mores, come on out and let's have the discussion. I won't ask you any type of questions like gotcha questions or anything like that. I don't want that. I want just an opposing point of view. Okay, just an opposing point of view. Why? For the benefit of our people, so that they can hear it, right? I don't even have a horse in the race. I don't have a horse in the race. I'm not married to any type of belief system or any doctrine. You know, it doesn't matter to me. My whole thing is to educate the people. That's my thing. Educate the people, right? Give us the information. Present the alternative view so that people can say, all right, I heard the story from the devil's pulpit, and now I heard the story from Reverend Moshe, Pastor so-and-so. All right? So let's have people have a proper education on the topic. So if y'all know somebody, if your teacher wants to come on and do a presentation, it could be a PowerPoint, it could be just that teacher talking, male or female, doesn't matter to me. If I ask any questions, I'll ask supportive questions, questions to clarify, but not questions to tear you down or questions to make you look like you don't know what you're talking about. All right, that's not my style, that's not what I do, and that's not Zion Law School. This is an academic institution. It is not a church or religion, okay? So you can be comfortable, rest assured that if you come on and you present, that it's going to be you presenting and that's it, right? DrYasapa will be supportive of you, right? Whatever you want me to do, I'll do it. That's all I care about, y'all. And our people deserve it, right? In this way, we can break the gospel. We can help the people come out from under the spell. See, the spell is something that you're under when you don't know, you're unawares. You're unaware of the spell. You're unaware that you are under a spell, right? So once you understand these stories in the Gospels, okay, once you're knowledgeable, now you're no longer under the spell. Whatever you believe and do, that's your choice. You made that choice based upon having what? Having all the information and comprehending it. Y'all see that? The God spell has been broken. The God spell has been broken through your education, through your comprehension of the subject matter. Okay? Break the God spell. This is so good. Actually, you know what? Wow, I just had a thought. I don't drink hard liquor, but this would taste good. Let's say in the evening, like this full of ice in the evening, and put some type of what would you put in iced tea? Would you put whiskey? I don't know what you would put in iced tea, but I remember when I was younger in my 20s, it used to be popular to drink. I don't remember what that drink was, but it was iced tea and it had liquor in it. I used to like those things. They were really, really good. We used to go to Fridays and order them. This would be really good with that. But anyway, so if y'all know any Hebrew Israelite teachers, any Christian pastors, anybody who's competent to come on and present the alternative view toward anything I put out, I would be happy to have them present their message to the people on our channel. I would like that very much. All right, so, okay. Yeah, so the law of consent. All right, so these are natural laws. There are many, many natural laws. Many natural laws. All right, many natural laws. And whether you violate them knowingly or unknowingly, they will still act powerfully for you or powerfully against you. It is your obligation as a man, as a woman, as a rightful heir. It is your obligation to learn these natural laws. It's your obligation. All right? It is your duty. In fact, natural law is you. I, self-law, am master. You are what? Pure consciousness, pure awareness, pure intelligence, pure intuition. There's nothing I or anybody else can tell you that's new. We just remind you. But you're hypnotized. You're hypnotized. So we have to what? De-hypnotize ourselves. We have to be ourselves. In order to be ourselves, you have to what? You have to first know who you are. The great I am. Huh? Timelessness. Agelessness. We are not this physical body we call an avatar. We are the user of the avatar. When the body expires, where does your consciousness go? What happens to that consciousness? Well, energy cannot be created and it cannot be destroyed. It only changes form. Huh? You understand the implications of that? It only changes form. So let's check out this, y'all. It's not pretty, is it? Well, that looks like a raisin. I don't know what this other, 2 raisins. I don't know what these long things are. It has a nice taste. Real nice taste. Yummy. So y'all see the seed right here, right? You see the seed? When I was in Poland, a friend of mine who was a pharmacist, she was actually my girlfriend, this Polish girl. She told me, oh, no, 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 you should eat the seeds. So we would eat fruit and I would spit the seeds out, right? She says, no, 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 you should eat the seeds. What are you doing? Eat the seeds. Because the seeds have what? Mineral nutrition, right? And then later on, I realized, well, wait a minute. If you don't chew the seeds up, see, if you're going to eat the seeds, you have to make sure you chew them up. Why? Because a seed might get caught in something called the cecum, and then you can have what? Appendicitis. So if you're going to eat seeds, you have to make sure you chew them up so they don't cause any type of obstruction. And then you find yourself having acute appendicitis, and you'll be messed up out here, right? Especially a person who travels like me. That's one of the worst things that can happen to you while you are traveling. You eat some bad food, and then you get acute appendicitis, and you got to have emergency surgery. Oh, I've seen that a million times. That's some scary stuff, right? I mean, if you're thinking about it happening to you. So you got to be really, really careful when you travel, right? That's the thing to avoid. Avoid dirty food and avoid dirty water at all costs. I don't care who gets mad at you because you say no, right? The coffee tastes better as I drink it. Right, I forgot what I was talking about. I lost my thought. Anyway, that means I've been going long enough, y'all. I'm Dr. Yasapa from Zion Law School, Islam to all the Moors, all of the rightful heirs. In order to inherit, you must be competent. Always remember that you must be competent. Your first duty is to yourself, become competent. Wake up, Dorothy. Wake up, Dorothy. Shalawama to the entire house of Yasharala. If you don't know what Shalawama means, you better ask somebody. All right, it has to do with what we're talking about. All right, you cannot inherit unless you are competent. In other words, you gave up your birthright. You're going to be in a state of bondage, okay? You'll be in a state of bondage until you return to nature, all right? Until you return to the Most High and begin to follow His instructions. And His instructions are what? At their essence, natural law. The only way you'll come to know that is through study, investment of time, energy, effort, and fiat, okay? So that you can learn. All right, so thanks everybody for subscribing to our streaming 101 Ancient Ibaryath course. Also, you are invited to our 506 The Curses course every Saturday at 10 a.m. in the morning, okay, Eastern Standard Time. So today I was feeling drained with headache. I haven't eaten this morning. That might have something to do with it. But usually after the Saturday class, 10 a.m., it's every Saturday, y'all, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Usually after the Saturday class, I feel drained the next day. The class sometimes can be intense. I wish y'all could be there. We have, the scholars are just amazing. The point of view, the independent thinking, the deep thinking and analysis that our scholars present is just amazing. Next day, I'm usually tired, y'all. Next day, I'm usually tired. And I felt so proud of the scholars because we went through this one book, I'm not going to say right now, but it's a very difficult read. And for most people, that book is as dry as sand. Okay? For most people, that book would be as dry as sand. And then you add on top of that, it's a difficult read. It is a difficult read. All right? But the scholars yesterday were totally into it, right? They were totally into it. And the message in that to me is academic maturity, curiosity, that they were able to stay attentive, ask questions, and they wanted to keep going. So this is what you can do for yourself, scholars in the audience. You come to 506 The Curses course, you will develop, you will grow, you will grow, and you'll be able to make your way through works that are difficult reads. You'll have the interest, the curiosity, and the skills to not just go through it and read it, but to comprehend it, to ask questions and answer questions. All right? This is an education. That's what an education is, okay? To comprehend, have the confidence and skill to ask and answer questions, and to present views. And I'm like, wow, I didn't see that, right? So this is what you get. These are incredible experiences. So you can come every Saturday, 506 The Curses course, 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can come a few classes for free, right? And our streaming 101 Ancient Ibaryath course, that's as close as free can get. It's only $10 per month, no contract, $10 to subscribe, no contract, cancel anytime. All right. The links are in the description area of the video. So those of you who like Zion Law School, you like our content, you want to support the work that we do with getting our heritage out there, the Ancient Ibaryath language, which is, scholars, which is what? That's right. You remember correctly. It is the Canaanite, Phoenician language group or family. All right, y'all? Canaanite, Phoenician, what does that tell you? So those of you who want to support our work, our mission, and our mission, or if you just like me, you like my personality, if you like the way I teach, if you appreciate what I do, and you would like to make a contribution or an investment, whatever your situation is, whatever you want to do, however you want to do it, you can purchase our books. I got links to 7 books in the description area of this video. There's one book you should buy on Amazon. All the rest buy on zionlawschool.org. That one book is 911 Ibaryath Rescue, the international edition. So buy that on Amazon, all right? Or, buy that on Amazon. Everything else, y'all buy on zionlawschool.org. Now, there's a special book. It's only $10. This is a special book. It's called Animals in the Bible. All right? Y'all should get that. Get it for yourself and for your babies, right? Animals in the Bible. I specifically priced that book at $10. It's a full color book. It has the animals in the Bible, and it has their Ibaryath name and how to pronounce them. It's a beautiful book. Beautiful images on glossy paper. It's full color. And I priced it at $10. Why? So that it's inexpensive enough for everybody to be able to afford to get it for each of their babies. And also for the adults to have it. So anybody who's a visual learner, this book is wonderful. Okay, so y'all go out and get that. So if you want to support what we do, order our books. Okay? And or you can make a cash donation either one time or monthly, or however many months you want. We call it recurring, a one-time or recurring donation or investment. Okay, you can use our Cash App, which is $ Dr. Yasapa. Our Cash App is $ Dr. Yasapa. $ DrYasapa. $DrYasapa. Or, of course, our PayPal. I prefer Cash App, right? PayPal is ridiculous with how much they charge you in terms of the percentage. It's robbery. But anyway, our PayPal is paypal.me/Zion Law School. PayPal.me/Zion Law School. So y'all work with me. Help me in my effort to educate our people, break the God spell. Break the God spell. The Gospels are incantations, charms, and spells that are meant to capture your imagination through tragic stories with the ultimate goal of capturing your mind, your wallet. And these days, the preachers are even after your son. All right? Tell me I'm lying. It's all meant, the more gospel education you get, the more indoctrinated you get, the stupider you are. Tell me I'm lying. Tell me I'm lying. All right? Tell me I'm lying. The more gospel education you get, the stupider you are. How do I know that? Because the more you're acting on faith. Faith is the assured, let me see if I remember, the assured expectations of things hoped for, although not beheld. And y'all proud of it. Faith is the assured expectation of things hoped for, although not beheld. You hope for it, but you haven't seen it, but you believe. I don't want no parts of that. Huh? I stick to the law. I want what I can see. And I want to see what? A reputation and a record that demonstrates your character, who you are, and your ability to come through. Your credit report, your financial statement, your cash flow statement, your income statement, and some references. Now we can talk. I don't want to hear nothing about hopes and dreams. Okay? The gospel has you twisted, and you're consenting. Huh? Western countries are Judeo-Christian in value. You want something from them, you got to show what? Income statement, balance sheet, cash flow statement. Show all your assets. Credit report. Huh? They ain't talking about no hope and faith. They're using natural law. Huh? Y'all see that? But when it comes to you, they're teaching you, indoctrinating you to have hope and faith. And that hope and faith, guess who's controlling that? The clergy. The dark priesthood controls your doctrine. That's right. In other words, they're your savior. You think your savior is Christ figure and the deity, the Father in the New Testament. But no. These priests, pastors, bums, parasites, users, deceivers, and manipulators who translate your Bible are in fact your savior. Why? Because they control what you read. You don't know anything except for what they have written. Y'all ever think about that? You don't know anything but what they have written. You don't even know if what they have written is actually what's there in the original language. Okay, so what you'll learn in that Streaming 101 Ancient Ibaryath course, The link is in the description area of this video and our live online 506 The Curses course. You're going to learn what's actually written in the ancient language. You're going to learn that. And you'll be shocked to see that what's in English is very often deceptive. Huh? Very often deceptive. Y'all got me? Very often deceptive, but you're the fool. You're the fool. Why? Why? Because you're looking to somebody else other than yourself to save you. You've abandoned your birthright. You have abandoned. You're acting contrary to natural law. You've abandoned your free will, your duty to understand nature, your environment, to respect your family, to respect your bloodline, to respect yourself. You've abandoned it. And now these Bible translators, they have complete control over your mind, therefore your body, therefore over what you perceive and what you will do, because you've been made into a bitch men, all right? A bitch, a coward, a chump. Huh? You won't protect your family, let alone those people in your community. And you don't even have community. Like Dr. Claude Anderson says, you have neighborhoods because you're a chump. You punked out. And why did you punk out? Because your mama raised you. That's why you punked out. Your mama don't know how to be a man. Huh? Your mama don't know how to be a man, and so many of our women are supporting their tag team partners with white supremacy. Huh? They're doing things, selling their own men, sons, and daughters up the river for some benefit. Y'all see how toxic and sick black culture is? And you think black culture is yours, but it's not. It's not your culture. That has been engineered, social engineering. Social engineering. You're born into it, therefore you think it's yours. But no. Who do you think makes the decision of what hip-hop lyrics are going to be? Who makes that decision? Do you think the artist makes that decision or the record label? Who owns the record label? Who owns it? Your open enemy owns it. Who owns all media? Your open enemy. So they're giving you music that further destroys you. And y'all keep participating in it. And y'all claim it as your own. When these people, many of these artists, these should be people who you despise as traitors. As traitors. And y'all shouldn't even be listening to that stuff. Okay? But you consent by listening to it, by watching the videos. You consent to it. All right? You consent. You let these people put people who sold drugs in your community, hold them up as heroes. What idiots and fools you are. But this is Christianity. And you're a Negro, and you're black, and you're colored. And that's what you want. And I'm disgusted with it. Why don't y'all wake up? Be a man. Man up. Woman up. Accept the responsibility, the obligation and duty to return to the Most High by following natural law. And do for yourself. Activate the law of compensation by helping other people. Stop being so self-centered, selfish, envious, egotistical, and outright bums. Stop pushing your nasty religion on people. Stop harming, humiliating, attempting to harm and humiliate people just because they don't have the same religious views as you. Stop trying to get your self-esteem and build a reputation off of destroying other people. And these other people are the people who we need to wake up and break the gospel so that we can do what? So that we can return to the Most High together, because one brain is extremely powerful, but two brains is not two brains. Two brains can be 10 brains, right? 10 brains has the power of 100 brains or 1,000 brains working together. Y'all understand what I'm saying to you? So stop trying to harm people over this stupid, ridiculous religious stuff. Your religious doctrine shouldn't matter, should not keep you from being able to cooperate, but you are in that religious state of mind, all right? And I'm disgusted with it. Anyway, I'm going to leave it on this because this is just too much for me. I'm disgusted by people clinging to this religion and the way these Christian and Hebrew Israelite teachers do other people, do each other, right? Y'all know how dirty they are, how self-centered, egotistical they are, debating, and they want, and even especially in the conscious community, there's certain channels where people debate. It's not about the content, but it's about pride and ego. It's destructive. Anyway, I guess I shouldn't have went there because that's kind of like on a negative note. But anyway, I'm going to catch y'all on the next video. I'm Dr. Yasapa from Zion Law School. Islam to all the Moors. Shalawama to the entire house of Yasharallah. Remember, you are the rightful heirs. You are the law. You are the substance and subject matter of the law. You must become competent. Wake up, Dorothy.